back to the Four Bears podcast, where we take a deep dive into all things sports. With me, as always, I have the talents of Cousin Brant, the floating head himself, Feezy, and everybody's favorite, Remy Part-Time.
Don't know if that's true, but okay, we'll roll with it.
So glad to be back, boys. Let's dive into our open picks. Obviously,
Can we
see yeah,
Some of us did better than others.
a lot better. A lot better. So we have Jake, who picked Rory. 6 under. It's tied for 6th. Me, Cam Smith. Let me down. 1 over. Tied for 33rd place. Grant, Jordan Spieth, even. At 23rd, and Primy, we're just not going to go over yours because there's nothing to
I would like to defend myself. Brooks didn't have that great of a showing. I'll be honest, he didn't. Some would say he played poorly, even. But it was an immaculate vibe pick. The vibe felt good. He looked good going into it. And I stand by my pick. I know he didn't perform like he should have, but I stand by it.
Look good from a golf standpoint or from an attractive standpoint?
Oh, I don't care about the golf. He just looked really good.
Okay.
All I can say, boys, is thank goodness for no frosted tips.
Yeah, that's not something I wanted to see.
So, some concerning news that we got this week. Bronny James, son of arguably the GOAT, LeBron James, suffered cardiac arrest at a USC workout. So Bronny was discharged from the hospital yesterday, as of the time we're recording this. How does this affect his future?
I mean, I feel like I know in a lot of sports now at the D1 level, they do heart scans to see if you have like an enlarged heart, just as a preemptive measure in this. Obviously, as a freshman, they might have not done it yet. I think it's interesting that, I know he's young, 18, having a cardiac arrest during a workout. You got to think, what were they doing? Maybe, or what, led up, is there an underlying condition that is going to affect his future or his playing career? I just can't fathom how a young, healthy man did that.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question is it an underlying condition that they don't know about. I know, the reason that they were practiced, there was an actual practice already. They were granted permission 10 days of practice prior to a tournament that they were going down to play. I think overseas is what I read. But they were granted by the NCAA 10 practice days leading up to that. So that's why they were practicing and working out so hard. My guess is to get prepared for that tournament they were going to play in, but I think underlying condition would be my first thought, but you never really know with these kinds of things.
Hopefully it's something that can be fixed. Hopefully it obviously doesn't affect his future. He's got LeBron behind him to fund any sort of, doctors coming over and looking. I mean, LeBron went to German doctors to get his foot healed last season. So I'm going to go on a limb and say he's going to search the world to get his son's heart healed. Hopefully it doesn't affect Bronny too much, because I think all of us would love to see him playing. And obviously we want to see him in the NBA soon, because we want to see, what he's capable of. So hopefully he's able to find a way to fix it. There's been a lot of heart issues lately, though, man. The Florida player whose name is escaping me right now had a cardiac arrest just a few years ago.
Was that Keontae George? Was that his name?
Yeah, I think it's Keontae Johnson.
Johnson, that's right, yeah.
But, there's been a lot of that lately. You have the DeMar Hamlin thing.
DeMar Hamlin.
I mean, man, hopefully it's not serious. Hopefully it's just a random one-time thing that happened that they can, help find him either medicine to help avoid it or just figure out what the problem is. But all we can do is pray for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. Does he return to basketball quickly? I I don't think he plays in that tournament this summer. I
Oh,
think
no.
he takes some time off, but I think by the time like real practice starts and regular season, he'll be there. So
Yeah, he was,
as long as it's not something crazy, let's just
yeah.
put that in there too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already been discharged from the ICU, and to do that like what 2-3 days after the event occurred, I mean that's impressive already. I mean that's already showing good signs. So, yeah, I think I mean like I said before, the biggest thing's gonna be if there's anything else that comes with it.
I think it's insane. You see freak accidents happen like this all the time. You know, high school athletes happening, and you know I know in our playing careers, 2 days kind of got not really a thing anymore. Just for this, you know, working young athletes too hard can be a big topic of conversation, especially I think back to like even young players like baseball, for instance. You can go and play easily 10 games in a weekend, and like when it's super hot out like it is in July, is that too much for them? And then you're going and having 2 days in college, is that too much for them? Are they working these players too hard? That's just kind of where my brain went. I don't know what their schedule is, obviously, but that's just my biggest concern is, are they working them too hard and kind of tiring them out too soon, kind of thing. But
Yeah, I mean, we clearly have a small audience, but our condolences to the James family. Hopefully, he's a quick recovery for Bronny. Definitely want to see him playing, and as a fan, I mean, regardless of how we all feel about LeBron and his status, but I'd love to see Bronny and LeBron play together. I think that would be beyond cool.
So speaking of professional basketball, Jaylen Brown, Supermax, 5 years, 304 mil. I'm all for it. Man deserves it. Hell of a player. It's gonna be banner 18 next year.
Whoa,
All there
That's
is
a
to
bold
it.
that's a
statement.
bold prediction.
Ooh, not too bold. Not too
No.
bold. They're up there.
Is
Yeah,
that your
they choke
official
every
pick?
year.
Are you calling your shot right now?
Look, I know I'm gonna be wrong, and they'll find a new way to break my heart. But they've got the team. They've got the team.
I don't think they do. I think they made some very poor moves personally, but I don't think a lot of their moves make sense.
Like Marcus Smart.
That's a terrible move in my opinion. I know he can be a head case and inefficient, but he's a great defender. He's a good guy to have the ball in his hands to distribute with. I mean, it just, the Jaylen Brown thing, by the way, is ridiculous because you just made him one of the highest paid players. What are you paying Jason Tatum?
Well, his extension's next summer.
He got signed to a
Yeah,
Supermax.
And he's gonna get way more than Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got
yeah,
signed
he
to a
will.
Supermax. What, last year, 2 years ago?
No, that was a while ago. Because his extension's up next year.
Yeah, his
3 years.
he has one more year in his contract and then a player option, which
Yep.
I'm going to go out
She'll
and say
decline.
he's going to decline that because he's going
Yeah.
to want more money,
He'll get
and he's
a lot
going
of
to
money.
get a lot more money.
He'll get a
The
lot of
problem
money.
is when you pay both of those guys that much money, you better be good at drafting. Because if you aren't, you will not have money to pay more players to come there. You will have your mid-level exception and your vet mix, and you're not going to be able to get a lot out of that.
Right.
It's been a while since the C's have had a miss in the draft, like as in a draft class themselves. They've had misses, but they've also had multiple picks to miss. Like Grant Williams turned out well.
Solid
Jordan
player,
Walsh,
but nothing incredible.
no, but like you're playing with two guys that are gonna be the primary ball handlers, the primary scorers. 27 points and 30 points per game. You just do your part. I think it works out.
I just
So,
don't see. I don't know who you surround them with. You pay two guys
They've
a
got-
Supermax to keep them there. Who are you going to bring in that for that cheap that's going to be able to benefit them? Not only in the starting lineup, but 6, 7, 8
Depth.
guys deep. You have no depth. You can't afford depth.
Veterans. I mean, next year this year and next year they've still got a little bit of wiggle room, Next year, Jaylen Brown's contract kicks in. It's estimated to be about $53 million, which is going to take away a lot of your money. You still have Kristaps on the books right now. You still have Brogdon on the books. It just doesn't. You're going to be really tight on money.
Jalen
I mean-
Brown's approaching what 32% of their cap, and you haven't even signed Jason Tatum to his supermax yet.
I mean,
If
they're
you-
already well over their cap space.
If you compare it to other teams, say the Warriors for the percentage of salary, Steph Curry is making more than Jaylen Brown's percentage right now with the new contract. And Klay Thompson
The
is
difference.
It's-
The
It's
difference.
Steph Curry.
Klay Thompson is
Jalen
very
Brown.
close.
What-
He's
Yeah,
just
much different
he just
players.
I mean,
compares
let's
Steph Curry
be-
and
Klay-
Can
Jalen
we
Brown.
be
Klay
honest?
Yeah.
Thompson,
What are we talking
Klay
about here?
Thompson is very close to
The difference
Jalen
Klay
with
Brown.
Thompson.
though-
It's not Jalen Brown.
The difference with
Jalen
that
Brown
though,
is
too.
better than Klay Thompson, and there's
Last
there's no argument.
Maybe
And
last year.
No
Since
argument.
Klay Thompson's injury, he's been a little bit better than him, but Klay's more efficient. Klay hits more free throws. Klay's a better shooter in general. I mean,
The man
He's
has
just as good a
championships. That's
defender.
all you have to say.
Yeah, if I played with Steph Curry too, I'd have to. Draymond's got championships. Draymond has championships. Come on.
Draymond is a great all-around defender. In fairness, he's a solid player to have on your team, and there were years where he scored the ball a lot.
We're talking about Draymond and Klay post prime. This is Jalen
Yeah.
Brown's prime, and he's only averaging what 17, 18 points a game
26 last year. But
20.
last year. Okay, I was thinking playoffs. Sorry, playoffs.
yeah,
In
in
the
his
playoff-
playoff career, he's
Where it
only
matters.
averaging 18 points a game, which is terrible.
Which-
With no
Take
rings,
away-
Nick.
Take,
There's no
take away the
rings.
5 points. Take away the 5 points. He's probably averaging 22.
No, he'd be averaging about 19 to 20 points per game.
Okay.
Because he's
So-
got a year. He's got a year in there where he averaged 14 points
played-
a game in the playoffs.
He played with
I mean, come on.
Kyrie Irving.
Who also is successful in the playoffs?
No, he is not.
What? 30
No,
points
he
per
is
game
not.
in a ring? That's not
Come on.
really.
He played with LeBron.
He averaged 30 a game. It didn't matter.
And what has he done since then? What
And
has he done
Jalen
since
Brown's
then?
playing
He's
next
got
to
paid.
Jason Tatum, who's supposed to be some generational player.
And he
And why
is.
he
He's
can't seem to
26.
do anything next to him?
He's 26. They have a new head coach. They've had three head coaches in the last 3 years, and all of them have been different in their own way. Brad was the big middle ground. You have Ime Udoka, who is all about defense, and then you have wow, I am spacing.
Not a true fan.
Guy
Fake
calls
fan.
him a Celtics
Joe
fan.
Mazzulla, you have Joe Mazzulla
Skill gap.
as
Skill
the
gap.
offensive mastermind. Joe is all about quick 3-pointers,
Jo-
and
Joe's definitely quick.
he's quick. He
to another one.
wants 3-pointers. He wants open shots, and he generates them. The gap between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics in the conference finals was for wide open threes, or like the percentage of makes for wide open threes was the biggest gap in NBA history. The threes were there; they were not falling.
That's
You
such
know
a
why they
Celtic
weren't
stat to
falling?
know. Of course you know that.
You know why they weren't falling? Because Jalen Brown shoots 36% from three in his career.
Are we acting like 36% is awful?
It's
There's-
all right.
There's no way
It's
we're
definitely
like,
not
Getting paid
racing on it.
$300 million. It's
Yeah, I mean,
This is
You've
this
gotta
is what the
excel in
new
some
CBA,
area.
right? The CBA is that the
collective bargaining
tech-
agreement.
yes, that's what you're gonna have to do with these teams with players like that. Yes.
Klay Thompson shoots over 40% from three in his career. You're just comparing the two.
ooh, that hurts.
I was gonna say,
that
dude,
hurts.
We got a guy that's getting paid $300 million, and we're comparing him to Steph and Klay, who shoot easily. I mean, comfortably over
Jalen
40%
Brown's
from
better
three.
than Clay.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Klay Thompson
Dude.
Thompson is a much more valuable player on a team, not only in his career but currently too. You're talking about a guy that can shoot from anywhere at any point in time and plays great defense.
Over his career, it's not even a
I mean, come on.
debate. It's not even
Jalen Brown
close.
Jalen Brown plays average defense, okay, and is not a great shooter.
Okay. It's just not. It's not right.
It's not right.
It's just not
I'll
right.
tell you-
The man
It's
deserves
not
his
right.
contract.
I'll
The
tell
man
you-
deserves his contract.
I'll
The
tell
man
you-
deserves a contract, not
you
the one
also-
that makes him the second highest paid player in basketball.
You
Facts.
also have to look at who are they getting this summer that would be better, or in the
Nobody,
next
because
year.
they have no money left.
No, but if they weren't going to pay him, who else would they pay?
I don't know. You can trade for Damian Lillard.
No.
Just
no,
a thought.
No. Damian goes to Miami. That doesn't help them. Doesn't help them.
I'm taking
get-
Dame over Kyle Lowry any day of the week, dog. I'm just
Sorry.
telling you right now.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it
no
helps
kidding.
them in the regular season. The postseason, they were the hottest shooting team in the league because of the guys around Jimmy Butler, not Jimmy Butler. Hottest shooting team in the playoffs. Till the finals.
I agree with that statement. I
Sure,
agree with
but
that.
they also didn't have Tyler Hero either.
So their shooting percentage would be even better, or like, what's the argument here?
It sounds to me like you're trying to make it sound like it was lucky.
I mean, no, it's
You're missing. They're one of their top scorers, and on top of that, one of their best
Yes.
3-point shooters. It wasn't. I mean,
lucky. It depends how you look at it. It's not luck. What's lucky? Making shots isn't luck. What's lucky is when you have all your guys making shots at the same time at the right time. And
I mean, they did it all playoff long.
until the finals. Till the finals.
True.
Till the finals.
They did it all playoff long.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, that good for them. They shot historically the best out of better than the Warriors dynasty, better than any other team up until the finals in NBA history. They were the hottest shooting 3-point team. You can look it up. You can find it.
No, this is facts. I agree.
I don't know.
You seem
man.
very passionate, Nick. You seem very, very invested in this. Are you a
Trust
part
me,
owner
I-
of the East that we don't know about? Or something?
I have seen every weird Celtics stat relating to the playoffs this year.
You know why? Because every year in the playoffs, they fall apart. Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown has a game where they shoot 25%. Every
And
year they have
take-
multiple of them.
And take 40 shots.
Yeah, there's some games they'll combine for 50 shots and they both combine to shoot about 25%.
Okay, I don't know if that
That
was
is true.
It's
I have
actually
20
dude.
for both
I have
of them
seen-
would be 25. Like
Yes,
they both.
I've seen
no,
games where I've seen
no,
games where
no,
Jaylen Brown's
no,
gone like
no.
7 of 25 and Tatum's gone like 3 of 18. I mean, come
No,
on.
In the playoffs,
Yes.
you find it. You find it.
I
You
could
show
think
me.
of this
Okay, I gotta
past
pull up
playoffs.
the game for this guy.
Tatum had 0 points through 3 quarters. Got a little bit
And then
hot.
lit up the Sixers and forced Game 7.
I
Doris
understand.
Burke shut her mouth
I
because
understand.
she was all over Joel Embiid.
Nick, I understand, but he took like pretty close to every single shot in the fourth quarter.
Oh, I got an
It- to
example
be-
already, boys.
To be fair, he didn't miss in the fourth quarter.
First game I checked.
Yeah, but
First
some of the
game I
shots that he was
checked.
taking
Which
were
one? Which one?
completely
First game I
terrible.
checked, okay? Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Jaylen Brown,
year?
6 of 17. Jason Tatum, 6 of 18. Which isn't quite 25%, but it's still damn close to 30%, which is terrible out of your two superstars.
Look, everything was dark too. The fact that they came back was nuts. I know they didn't finish it out, but we are talking about two dudes that are just entering their prime at 26 and 25 years old. Why would you not want to keep those two guys together?
I don't know. It's not about keeping them
Because
together.
they
It's
can't win.
It's just the contract
it's
for
the
me. That's the big
contract.
thing.
I don't
Yeah,
mind
that's
signing
not a big
Jaylen
deal.
Is he
Brown.
gonna
but
is
to
he
a
gonna go get
supermax.
304 million from another team? Like who's else
No.
gonna sign him to that?
Well, you can't possibly do that because
Yeah,
You can't super
max,
max, but like even you know what I'm saying. No one's gonna
He's-
like. I don't feel like another team is gonna.
Nobody was
pay
gonna
him
get
you don't
absorbently.
think, you don't
Yeah,
think
no.
any other team would give him a max contract?
No.
Are we?
I really don't think so.
Are we dumb?
He's
are
a good player. I don't think he's max money worth though.
a guy that just
there would have
scored
been another
27?
team that would have taken a risk on him, but I don't think he's worth the risk.
So you're telling me teams like
By the way,
Magic,
game 2 of that
his
same series,
hometown Hawks, the Pistons, the even the Nets.
If those teams truly believed they could build around him, then sure. But there's nobody that wants to go there. They're not going to be able to. It would be Jaylen Brown and Jaylen Brown playing for him. Because
be
there's
fair,
no way
they
you're
need-
getting
they need
Jaylen Brown,
something.
you know?
they
I
need
get
to
it.
start with something.
Well, that's where you typically just trade whatever you have on your roster and draft a bunch of young stars like Cleveland, OKC, Sacramento didn't have anybody to trade, unfortunately.
Cleveland hasn't drafted their own stars. They have Darius Garland. That's it. They drafted him. That's not drafting their whole team.
Did I miss Mobley? Did Sexton get drafted by somebody else and I missed it?
Sexton's on the Jazz. So.
Well,
good
he is
call.
now. After they traded for Donovan Mitchell,
He
they
wasn't-
used
he
their
wasn't
own
good.
young star to trade for another good player.
So wait, you're telling me that they traded for a guy that is like Jaylen Brown? Yes.
Donovan
yes.
Mitchell's not like Jaylen Brown. Donovan Mitchell's a better player than Jaylen Brown.
I would agree with that.
That's not true.
I disagree.
That is 100%
If-
true.
if-
I disagree.
Playoff success. If we're gonna talk about playoff success here, and then talk about
Rudy
Donovan
Gobert is
Mitchell,
one of the worst players ever. in my
Rudy
opinion.
Gobert is one
Yes.
of the worst players ever.
Yeah.
Yes, he is one of the most overrated, useless players I've ever seen on the court.
That's a very bold statement. That's a very.
I
I'm not.
mean,
Listen,
I
he is
understand
a
where you're
great
coming
The
from.
last,
but, like,
the last
Gobert
couple
is
of
a
years,
great
we're talking
defender,
about
but
defensive
he's
player
so
of the year.
offensively inept, it kills your team.
that's
He
a
is-
hot
like,
take.
dude, look at
That's-
Minnesota.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
also trying to work with Cat. Cat's gonna
Yeah.
change the game. Cat's changing the game, and it just doesn't
Yeah,
involve Rudy.
yeah. Cat's changing the game, baby.
He's changing the game. It doesn't involve Rudy. That's it's tough. Rudy's putting some fight in those dogs up there. Like literally, he was fighting those guys up there.
Eating kibbles and bits for breakfast. They're just dogs.
They're just dogs.
All right, we need to switch
Okay.
away from the NBA. We need to lighten it up a little
Moving
bit.
on.
We
Moving
all know
on.
we give money to Jaylen Brown. We all know that. Okay.
Ah,
NFL training camp news. We have Joe Burrow's injury.
That makes my heart hurt. I hate it.
Dude, I hope he's okay.
the news is with the calf strain, he's gonna be out for a few weeks. He'll probably be back by regular season.
Their
Guys,
backup's
you
Trevor
just-
Simeon. I just don't think you're going into week one with Trevor Simeon at quarterback.
Nah,
I know you got
Burrow's good
Jamar,
for
but,
week
like,
one, man.
But like theoretically, you're like, no, we got this.
Oh,
we got
theoretically,
Trevor Simeon,
terrifying.
guys. We're good.
When you're the Bengals, you cannot afford to lose some of these early games. Like you can't forfeit 3 games.
Nope.
Too
Oh,
tough
3
of a conference,
stars.
too tough of a division.
hmm I agree 100%. So I'm glad he's gonna be back. Hopefully, that's good news.
Yep, he should be. Jalen Ramsey, on the other hand, he'll be out till at least December, maybe longer. They aren't sure on
Yeah.
that. He did have knee surgery, which I think. I think Jalen Ramsey is still a great player, but I don't think he's the player he used to be by any means. I don't think he's the lockdown corner #1 Hall of Fame caliber player that he was, especially now that he's going to be hurt.
I think he's still in my top 5, but yeah, I don't think he's not up there. I mean, I got Jair above him. I got Sauce above him. I mean, another
Sertan.
Zertan, and then also another.
I don't know if Sertan's above him. I think Sertan will be above him,
think
especially
he
this
is.
next year.
Well, the other
But
DB in Miami, X, he's dude.
X is good.
he's
That's why they
so
have
good.
they have some depth too. Like it's not like if it was in LA and he was out, they're screwed. Like they're that's a problem.
Trust me, LA's screwed already.
True, but like the Dolphins luckily still have pieces on defense. It's not
Yeah.
like they were relying on him to cover half the field like they were in LA.
Well, and truthfully, if we're gonna move this into DBs as a whole, I'm taking Micah Hyde in the top 5 over him too. Honestly,
Minka, I like Minka.
I mean,
I
those are
don't know
safeties
top
though.
5.
Like
Yeah.
Not top 5, but Minka's
Those
also
aren't covered
great.
corners. Those are good.
no, those are
covered safeties.
safeties. But
I know that's why I said we move it to DB. I'm taking Micah Hyde in the top 5.
Yeah.
He was a good cover guy at Iowa.
Great
Yeah, no, for sure.
point.
yeah, no,
Great
for sure.
point.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah.
Well, he started with some technical difficulties. We're gonna have to slide on past. Hopefully, he rejoins us soon here.
No,
But I mean,
I,
yeah,
I understand what you're saying. I think that
I mean, you want to talk about a corner, by the way, that hasn't been named here? Marcus Peters, who just signed with
Yeah.
the Raiders, by the way, on a $5 million deal.
that is a sneaky good pickup. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie,
it's
especially after
great.
his Viking season, he played well.
No, Marcus Peters, not Patrick Peterson. Wrong Peter.
Oh, he didn't play in the Viking.
Yeah, former Balti guy, former
Yeah.
Chief as well.
Yeah.
Great signing for the Raiders. Now, Pat Pete's a hell of a player, too. Just had a great year with the Vikings. Now he's over in Pittsburgh, though.
Yeah,
But,
that's my bad.
yeah, it's all good. I mean, hey, there's a lot of players in the NFL. You mix up the names sometimes, Speaking of a name that we can't mix up, Brock Purdy. Clear
Lord
Jordan.
Jesus, it's our guy.
The Iowa State boys take it away.
You know, I'm gonna make a claim here that
Oh,
I
God.
know at least two people on this
Here
podcast
we
aren't
go.
aren't gonna agree with, but Brock Purdy might be the most underrated player in all of the NFL, and not only that,
He needs to come
arguably a
back
top
like
10
he was.
quarterback. Arguably a top
Yes.
10 quarterback.
He has to come back. Like, this
You know?
isn't an easy injury to come back from.
You know, as a man of faith that he is, I know that he
That's
will lead this
Castellanos.
team. He will lead this team to the victory that they need, no matter what it is. He's been, there's been videos of coming out that he's been training with his left hand, so that if he needs to throw a lefty, he can. That's how dedicated he is to this team winning. That's how good Brock Purdy is as a quarterback. You think any other quarterback in the league is, okay, maybe Tua, but you think any other quarterback is out here chucking it lefty? No, that's the kind of dedication that Brock Purdy has.
Are you sure that wasn't Trey Lance?
No, I don't think Trey Lance even, that's not even a factor anymore. Honestly, he's just, I hate to say it because the guy doesn't deserve this. He should have gotten a shot. I'll be honest, he should have gotten a shot being a first round draft pick, and they're paying him absorbent amount of money. Let's just go by football in general, football games played. Brock Purdy was a 4-year starter, had so many more games under his belt at a higher level than Trey Lance did. Trey Lance had, 13 starts at a collegiate level under his belt before he got drafted in the first round,
Because shockingly, he's always hurt.
and then he was hurt. So I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm going to take the guy that comes from a great culture. Matt Campbell in Iowa State has a great culture. He's a great guy. All the players on the team love him. They're going to rally around him. He can get the locker room together. I just think that he's more of a veteran type presence, which I think is what this team kind of needs than Trey Lance is. Yeah, Trey Lance might have a year on him in the NFL, but Brock has played more meaningful football at every level than Trey has.
To relate with the Iowa boys here, I think George Kittle needs Brock Purdy.
I agree. They got a great relationship.
I feel like both of them
Kittle's need him.
benefit off each other a lot.
I agree.
Well,
I think that, well, if you look back to college especially, we have 2 tight ends in the league now that played with Brock because Brock loves his tight ends. Brock loves his tight ends. You have one of the best tight ends in the league in Kittle. Why would you not get him the ball? Especially check downs or, Kittle's down there somewhere, he's going to catch the ball, he's going to get open, kind of like a Kelsey. I love it. I love the connection, and Brock knows how to do that. He's shown he can do that not only in the regular season, the postseason, and in the college level. It's just something that he's good at, in my opinion.
I think you went rogue there,
Something
buddy,
he's
saying
good at.
that Kittle needs Purdy. That's kind of...
Yeah.
Uh,
in all
I'm gonna say
seriousness,
Purdy
Kittle-
needs
Kittle-
Kittle.
But look at his
Yeah.
receptions with
Ooh.
Garoppolo versus
Yeah.
his receptions with Brock. He
You
had
mean a quarterback that
significantly
actually threw the
less.
ball?
Jimmy G can't play football. This is common knowledge.
As a Raiders fan,
No,
I
but
agree.
that's part of what I'm saying. That's part of what I'm saying. If George Kittle wants to be a top 3 fantasy tight end this year, not just to put in fantasy perspective, but if he wants to be up there receiving yards top 3, I think he needs Brock.
Yeah, because he's going to have a quarterback to throw him the ball. The guy's
To be-
open.
I
He
mean,
just
to be
needs somebody
fair,
with an arm that's not a noodle to get it to
I
it.
mean, dude,
That's-
Kittle was successful with C.J. Beathard at the helm. No disrespect to C.J. He's my boy, an Iowa native. But I mean, he's
Average
not
at
no
best.
Jimmy G. He's not.
Yeah,
not
he's
a
significantly worse
Purdy.
than Jimmy G. I
He's
agree.
not a Trey Lance.
Yeah, he's worse than all of them.
You calm down. Yeah.
Look,
You cannot deny that he is
you
worse than
better-
all three of those
Oh,
quarterbacks.
he is
definitely
worse.
Beathard in his time in the NFL played much better than Trey Lance has ever dreamed of playing currently.
Well, okay.
Because Trey Lance hasn't played.
I feel
And in
like
the games
that's
he
like
has played, he was terrible.
Hey,
it's
okay,
like,
by that
oh,
comparison,
yes.
Tim Tebow is the Messiah compared to him too. Like,
Tebow was pretty bad sometimes too, man.
Everybody remembers him for the one pass to Demarius Thomas, and that's that.
Yeah.
that's about it. Yeah,
So,
I love
I
him.
think-
That's my boy.
I think there's a path for Purdy to be a top 10 quarterback too. When you said that earlier, I don't disagree with that. If he plays the way he did last year, there is a strong argument for him to be top 10, maybe even close to top 5. Because he played spectacular. He was extremely efficient. He didn't turn the ball over a lot, and he made a lot of great throws. So
Brand, I've never loved you more than I do right now. I just want you to know that.
if he's top 5, George Kittle's wide receiver, tight end 1.
no, because Travis Kelce's still Travis Kelce.
Ooh, no,
True.
but I think
But they
if
have
Brock
they have
Purdy,
Debo. They got other weapons. They have McCaffrey,
Ayuk.
Ayuk. I understand what you're saying, Nick. But the Chiefs are. I don't want to say one dimensional because the Chiefs are not one dimensional. But like, they're one dimensional in the terms that there's one thing you can count on: Travis Kelce's getting the ball at some point in the game.
Travis Kelce's going to produce about 1,300 yards and somewhere around 8 or 9 touchdowns every single year.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sickening at this point. Whatever
It's
receiver
kinda-
you throw out there, Mahomes will find a way to get him the ball because Andy Reid is the greatest offensive coach in NFL history.
I was gonna say this guy named Patrick Mahomes still lives and breathes, doesn't he?
it's kind of crazy that
You know what's crazy is that he never beat Iowa State. He actually lost significantly to Iowa State and got injured. So you
He
know,
was at Texas Tech, and now he's got
Wait.
Travis
So
Kelce
wait.
and Andy Reid.
I don't want to say that Joel Lanning was a better quarterback than Pat
Oh,
Mahomes.
No,
but
you
in
can
their
say
head- in their head-to-head matchup. I mean,
No, you
It wasn't
cannot
close.
say
It
that.
wasn't wasn't close.
Joel Lanning.
Okay.
And then he went in and played middle linebacker and tackled him too.
Moving
What
on to our next guy because you guys are going rogue with Brock Purdy here. And then
just love
now disrespecting Patrick Mahomes on a level that's sickening.
We're not
Let's get in-
disrespecting. We just have to
Okay.
realize who's better.
And one's an
Okay.
NFL MVP, the other didn't even play in the league. I mean, you know?
Hey, he was on the Cowboys preseason roster
Uh-huh. Okay.
Alrighty then.
as a linebacker.
Now to another unfortunate injury. Nyheim Hines out for the year after tragically getting hurt by another person's negligence in a jet skiing accident.
It's unfortunate.
Wrong
Not
place,
an
wrong
incredible
time.
name. Yeah. Not a name that you go crazy about, but that's still a huge piece for the Bills. It's a guy you would have liked to have. Now there's a lot of weight put on James Cook. You know,
I got
And the
Nyheim's
return
supposed to
game
be-
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to say he was one of the best returners in the NFL when he got traded to the Bills. So,
Yep. And a great pass catcher out of the backfield.
hmm
So, a lot of work for him now to do.
Hmm
very unfortunate. Prayers up to him.
And if we go back to a topic we mentioned last week for the running back market, does this open up something for one of the guys still available?
You have the Cook brothers in the backfield because right is
From
They're
what
not
I've
signing
read,
a high market. I feel like.
from what I've read, Dalvin Cook does not want to go to Buffalo because he does not want to interfere with James Cook's growth
Mhm.
and doesn't want to take any reps away from him. You know, he wants to allow him to grow on his own and be able to actually have his own team in backfield. So
so much for a good sibling rivalry. You know, like what happened? What happened to that?
that's
Yeah.
just another sibling looking out for his brother, so his brother can come into his own and actually make some money himself too.
That's soft.
Speaking of making money, Justin Herbie, 5 years,
Herbie fully loaded.
$262 million, 218 of it guaranteed.
Good for him, man. Good for
Yeah.
him.
Yes, indeed.
I personally
hate to see
love
this.
Justin Herbert.
I love him.
I do too. That's why I hate to say this because I'm a big Herbo fan. I think he's a great quarterback, great guy. I think he's gonna have the same career that Philip Rivers has. He's gonna play great in the regular season, and they're never gonna have any playoff success. I just feel like that's just gonna be, especially the division they play in. It's
Wait a
gonna be
minute.
hard for him.
Wait a minute. How many kids does Justin Herbert have?
He's got time. He's got time. He's gonna have a whole. He's gonna be able to play 7-on-7 with just his kids.
As long as he
Jeez.
doesn't get up to like the 15 or whatever Philip Rivers has, I think he'll have plenty of time to focus on
I
football and
I
playoff
think
success.
Philip Rivers has more than that. I could be wrong though.
No, I don't think it's 15.
Isn't it
You're-
nine?
Oh, it's a lot. No.
I think
He
it's
can
nine.
field- I know
think
for a
it's
fact
12.
he can field
I
a
think
full
it's-
7-on-7 team.
I think it's 11. I think he's at 11.
Dude, they
He's
probably
at-
take a freaking bus to everywhere they go. Like, how are you? What car are you taking to fit
15
a
They're-
passenger van.
15
They're-
people in a car? Like,
They're at 10. They have 9
Yeah.
right now and a baby
They
on the
can
way.
field a whole
they're
offense.
pregnant again.
Yes.
Well, not Philip Rivers. His wife is.
Okay.
Thanks for
Oh
clarifying.
yeah,
Nick.
no, thanks, Nick. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's a common misconception. Yeah, no, agree.
Suppose you never know
Gotcha.
in today's day and age. You never know.
Yeah, it's fair. We're you're right about that. I think going back to the Saquon just a minute, we can go back to Justin Herbert if you want to. Saquon also signed his 1-year, $1 million contract.
11, not 1 million.
Not one. 11.
Sorry,
We'll go with
11 million. 1 year, 11 million. Sorry, words. are wrong.
11 million with a little under $1 million in incentives. A terrible contract. You're sitting here talking about all these running backs that are upset with the market. They're upset with guys like Dalvin Cook getting cut. Saquon and Josh Jacobs got tagged and couldn't get an extension done. I mean, you've killed. You can't do that. You can't accept a deal like that. You're killing the market opportunity for running backs.
Yeah,
You know?
I think he definitely settled for sure. If you were really
Yeah.
trying to make a point about not making enough money, you can't go back and sign your franchise tag amount and guaranteed money with a $900K incentive bonus on top, which is not realistic. It's
I
just
don't know.
he caved. He caved.
I don't know if he settled. Like, here's my thought process with the thing. It's you have in the NBA you hear tampering all the time, and talking to guys while they're still under contract or before free agency starts. I feel like there's no way you could prevent this like 100%. And so, did he know what his market was looking like?
I mean, yeah. I also think it's hard. It's easy to sit here and criticize him because obviously all these great running backs are out there. But like, if I'm in his shoes, and I'm seeing Dalvin Cook getting cut, not getting signed, and all these great running backs that are on the market right now, and I have an $11 million contract sitting on my desk that I'm not signing, I'm gonna be selfish. I'm taking the bag. Like, I'm gonna take the bag. As in a collective whole, it would have been great for him to hold out and maybe, nope, I'm gonna take a stand for my other brothers. Like, this is great for the whole running back market, but I can't fault him for taking the money. Like, yes, it's not a great contract for him or the running backs. I agree, but like with the running back market right now, I can't blame him for taking it.
It's a terrible contract for him. Awful contract for him.
It is.
Number
I
one,
agree.
the incentives. One of them is he has to have 1,350 in rushing yards, 1,350 rushing yards, plus a playoff berth. He's gonna have 65 receptions and 11 touchdowns. Okay.
Why
Not
is
to
the
mention-
playoff berth in there? That's a team thing, not a him thing.
He's gonna play quarterback
It's
too.
just what the incentive is. I
Might
can't
need
control
him.
the
Sure,
incentive.
field me 11 Saquons. I like our chances.
Hey, to be fair, I mean, we have seen running backs play quarterback before. Look at Justin Fields.
That's actually crazy you said that because
Disrespectful.
he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and if you ask
Yeah,
him, he's
he
the
was
best rushing
towards the end of the
quarterback of all
season.
time.
One of the
so-
I
most
would-
overrated quarterbacks in the league.
I would argue
Oh,
I
of
would
course
go
you would
that
say that.
far.
I'm a Packers fan. He's
Yeah, my
overrated.
quarterback's
he
Jordan
might
Love.
be
What's your
top
point?
30. He might
Yeah,
be
he's
top
garbage.
30.
He's garbage.
Okay,
But-
what's your point? I don't know.
Hey, Justin Fields has more passing touchdowns than Jordan Love does in many less years in the league. So, I'm saying.
I think many less is a little
Well,
bit of a
2 is
over-
significant in my mind.
Ugh.
Yeah, we know 2 is very significant.
Okay.
Anyway, Saquon, it's a terrible deal for Saquon. You're talking about a guy that hasn't been able to stay healthy in his 5 seasons. He was played 5 seasons. You guys been healthy for 2. I mean, you signed a contract, another 1-year deal. If he's hurt again next year, who is signing to him for more than $8 million?
I would.
Seriously.
Not a soul.
I would
No, there's
almost argue.
there's no team taking that
I would
risk
go
unless
back.
I
he's
mean,
gonna
no
go
one's
another
gonna take the
1-year
risk.
deal.
I agree, but I would
Yeah.
sign him. It's Saquon. It's like a Christian McCaffrey, not quite to Christian McCaffrey's level, but like, you got to take that risk versus reward. I know he'll be older too, but like, prime Saquon, he's electric. Like, he'll bring in market value. You're gonna have great fan base around him. Like, I love him as a player.
I agree, but he's not in his prime anymore. These guys' time in the league is so short-stinted that it's just you get 2 or 3 good years out of them, and then this is what happens. The same thing that's happening with Dalvin. They're both on their way out. So
Oh, I disagree with that Dalvin take strongly.
yeah,
You can't say it about Saquon
Yeah.
and not say the same thing about Dalvin.
they're in the same position.
I disagree with the aging take. I strongly disagree with that. Dalvin has been missed what? Like he missed part of his rookie year, and he's hardly missed a game since. Came
Oh,
out
you're
average
talking
over
about
1,000
strictly
yards
aging.
every year.
Wait,
He missed like a
Do
whole
you watch
season.
football?
the whole
This
season.
Of
guy's
course I
hurt
missed.
all the
Of course I
time.
would.
He missed like a
Dalvin
full
does not hurt
season.
all season.
What? Wait a minute.
I think last year was the first year he played a full year, like, and
Not
didn't
ever.
get hurt. Like,
Yes.
The guy's had over
These-
1,000 yards almost every
These
year.
tweets
man.
are hitting hard. These
Just 'cause
tweets
he's
are
good.
hitting hard.
Listen,
He's
Okay.
good.
listen,
He can
listen.
get 1,000 yards in limited
Since
carries.
his rookie year, he's played 11, 14, 14, 13, 17 games. Okay? He has played over 75% of the season in the last 4 years. Okay? You can say whatever bull crap you want, but he has played, and he's had over 1,100 yards and averaged 4.7 yards per carry in his career. 4.7.
11, 13, 13, 13. That's
11, 14, 14, 13, 17.
so only one of those was
And
every
and
game
also,
of the
you
season.
guys watch
Okay.
football, Mr. Oh, he just missed a bunch of games last year. He played all 17.
that's
Hello?
not what we said. Use
Hey,
your ears.
let it be known, I
This
did
is
not
definitely
say
what
that.
somebody
I
said.
did not say that. I did not say last
I think
year.
I might have said it. I
I
did not mean it though.
No,
Historically,
you
I
meant
did
it.
not mean it, though.
No, I had him last year. He was the only player in my fantasy that actually was productive all of last year.
And he always is
You
productive.
probably had Justin Fields on your team too. So.
Oh, I wish, dude. He lit it up in fantasy. I'd take him.
I mean, dude, the guy's been a Pro Bowler for 4 years straight. It's not the same. Saquon can't stay on the field, literally.
To be fair, I've been to the Pro Bowl 4 seasons straight as well.
Yeah, you have.
Bought my tickets and I
Yeah,
go
no.
spectate
I
4
watched it
years.
4 years in a row. I've been there. Actually,
Where's-
I think it's 6 for me.
no,
Actually,
I get your point.
You know,
I get
Saquon
your
has
point.
played more than I realized, actually. 16, 13, 2, 13, 16.
so if you take out that 2, he's played basically the same amount as Dalvin.
Yeah, I got to be honest. It feels like he's hurt more.
Well,
But I mean,
it's just
that's
the
because
the year
that's
that he
because
had
2021 he was terrible. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
2021 he had 593 yards rushing.
They were bad that year.
They were
And
so
who
Yeah,
wants
they were
to watch
awful.
the Giants.
I forgot. That year felt like he didn't play because he was so bad.
I feel like the Giants just didn't play that year.
No, they did not. But I mean, it's hard to sign a guy to a contract who had that year where he was hurt, like he played 2 games, and then the year that he played as though he might as well have been hurt. But for Saquon's a terrible contract. If you're hurt again this year, nobody's paying you. I love that he's betting on himself. I believe he said, he just went with his heart when he signed the deal. But it's still, if you fail, you're never getting paid again, ever. It's just not going to happen. So I think it's a terrible contract for him.
I agree. I could be wrong. Maybe he'll have a breakout year and go back to prime Saquon we know and love, but
No.
that's all we can hope for. We also have who was it? Oh yeah, Stephon Diggs, 4-year, $104 million extension after the whole
Shocking.
debacle. The debacle with him and not coming to stuff and beef with Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's shocking to me. I'm surprised they signed it. That means they have a lot of faith in him, and apparently he has a lot of trust in them. So,
I mean, he's good. You're acting like he's not
he's
good.
fantastic. He's an incredible player, but he's a head case.
I mean,
I would assume that
So?
he had an ownership, a meeting with ownership, and after the way that the way the last season ended, gosh, from an ownership standpoint, I would hope that you would call those guys in and be like, listen, like you
We need to
two
get
are
together.
both like way too good to like be fighting because I didn't throw you the ball. Come on, come on. We got two
He didn't throw the
generational.
ball enough.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down,
We
buddy.
got two generational talents. They're gonna split up because he didn't get the ball thrown to him. Let's calm down in Buffalo. All right, let's calm down in Buffalo. Call him in. Let's hit a regain. Go dominate some
get
more.
it. Do you think it was incentive-based stuff that maybe? Well, was Stephon on his rookie deal still?
No.
No.
I'm like,
no.
there's
No.
no way,
'Cause
right?
Remember, he was a rookie with Minnesota. They traded him
Yeah.
over, and then he signed a new deal.
I was like, do you think it was incentive stuff that he's like getting mad that he didn't reach incentive goals because
Nope.
he wasn't getting the ball?
So all reports have suggested, obviously they're just reports, you don't know the truth, but all reports have suggested that he was just upset with not only not getting targeted enough in his opinion, because he felt like he was open all the time, which I mean, it is Stephon Diggs, he probably was, but he was also upset with the lack of success in the playoffs. You know, they've failed year after year after year.
I think there's 53 other guys that could say the exact same thing.
Now,
That they're always open.
but the same problem Stephon Diggs
It's open.
the same problem Stephon Diggs had while he was in Minnesota is he's only worried about what he wants. You know, he's a great player, one of the top 5 receiver in the league. There's no question about that. You could argue top 3, but I think he's only top 5. I think he's probably the 4th or 5th best receiver. But it's still, you got to come to a team standpoint at some point. You know, they're still winning games even when he's not getting the ball 27 times. You know. It's just he's got to learn to be a little bit more humble and relaxed about it. You can't just freak out. Like, you can't just not show up to training camp and have your agent communicating with the team about it. You can't just stonewall your own team and not show up. It's a bad look, and it's bad for
Well,
him.
actually, you can. But I agree, you shouldn't. But you can.
Clown.
No, he's good though. He's very good. Brant, how do we feel about the Josh Jacobs situation going on?
It's hopefully he resigns, man. Honestly, I don't know what he's gonna do. Hopefully, you know, if it gets towards later in the season, I could see him, you know, either right before week 1, finally signing his franchise tag, and playing, or not playing at all and just sitting out the entire season.
The clock
What
is
other backs do
ticking.
you have?
The clock
Zamir
is
White.
ticking.
Zamir White, and Zamir White.
Oh, so you need him.
Yeah, unless Zamir White's suddenly just going to be like the greatest player in history, because we're definitely not relying on Amir Abdullah to help him.
Sounds
Yeah,
to me
Amir
like the
Abdullah's
Raiders are
definitely not
down
gonna get
bad.
done. Yeah, pretty much. He did get offered a contract supposedly of around $12 million a year for 3 years. The problem with that contract is the guaranteed money is the exact same thing he would have gotten if he just played on his franchise tag. So obviously he wants more guaranteed money than that, which, I mean, you're a running back in the NFL. You don't have a long life. You want as much money as you can get while you're there, you know? I don't blame the guy at all.
Not one.
So
bit.
hopefully we can get that taken care of, because honestly, this is going to sound crazy. As long as Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get hurt, the Raiders could be good this year, okay? As much as I don't like Jimmy Garoppolo, he fits Josh McDaniel's system to a T, okay? Devontae Adams is still one of the best, if not the best receiver in football outside of him and Justin Jefferson and maybe Tyreek Hill. All right. Michael Mayer,
Is this
great
5
tight end
years
for Notre
ago?
Dame. Excuse me? Devontae Adams is still like the best receiver in football. Don't ever disrespect.
Is this Groundhog Day? Like, is Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball?
Renfro should be. Well, he just had his best season last year. He had a better season last year than he ever did with with Aaron Rodgers. Sorry.
Oh, was Jimmy throwing the ball there too?
No, it was Derek Carr and then freaking oh my gosh, what was that guy's name for the last 2 weeks? Who I've already forgotten. Holy
Oh
crap.
yeah. I can't remember, but they're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Jarrett Stidham.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to be the next Tom Brady, man. What do you mean?
Devontae Adams had 2 great weeks with Jarrett Stidham. Okay, I think Garoppolo can get him the ball a little bit, Because Garoppolo managed to get Debo and Kittle the ball pretty efficiently. All right. So
Not
as
about
long as that
Kittle.
guy can stay healthy, he'll get Devontae the ball, he'll get Renfro the ball, he'll get Jacoby Myers the ball if he can throw it more than 20 yards down the field.
That's a big
And
if out of Jimmy G.
you know what? The Raiders added Tyree Wilson. They added Marcus Epps from the Eagles, who had the most snaps on a historic Eagles defense. And then we got a bargain signing this week in Marcus Peters. I'm truly ecstatic about that. The Raiders can be good this year, but we need Josh Jacobs.
You guys need a lot more than just Josh Jacobs,
Yeah.
my brother. I'm sorry.
You don't realize the talent on the roster, my friend.
Maybe a whole new
You know,
franchise. I don't
Maybe
know.
Now, in
maybe we'll be
fairness-
blown away. Maybe they're gonna
in
somehow
fairness,
run away with the
I have
division.
zero faith in Josh McDaniels to coach football properly. Zero. But if he is any sort of a decent coach, then we could be really good this year.
I have some sources that said he used Ask Madden last year.
It wouldn't
No,
surprise me.
They would have played way better if they used Ass Madden.
No, the other things too, the Derek Carr thing. I don't know how people feel about Derek Carr. I'm sure a lot of people think he's a clown. He's a good player, if not a great player from time to time. There's reports that Josh McDaniels didn't even allow him to audible out of plays, okay? And the camel was shattered. Apparently, this is the reports. Apparently, when we played Seattle, Derek kind of just went off script and did his own thing. And we beat them in overtime, okay? And reportedly after that, the team was shattered because Josh McDaniels went nuts on him. So he said, and I quote, "Run the effing play."
Or I could win you the game. There's that.
Yeah, I
I
know,
guess,
right? But, you know. So
That's just rough.
Josh
That's
McDaniels
rough.
concerns me. Hopefully we get Josh Jacobs back.
Yeah, bring
'Cause I
Gruden
don't
back.
know what
am
we're
I
gonna do
right?
without him. Okay, well I would go that guy kind of had some bad PR issues and bad human
No.
issues.
The Spider 2Y banana. That'll get you what you need.
Don't get me wrong, I think Gruden's a great coach in terms of his ability to coach. I just don't think that those things can. I don't think you can have those things hanging over you as a NFL coach. So
Take him off social media, no emails, no nothing.
hey, he came in and helped install the Saints offense this offseason. So little
I bet
funny
it's-
fact if you guys didn't know
If-
that.
If they're anything like his emails, I bet it's pretty offensive. So,
That was good.
Hey.
That was good.
Gruden was pretty offensive his entire career. It's kind of his thing.
True. It's true. He's a weapon.
So yeah, hopefully Josh gets going. You know, hopefully we get him signed. The Saquon thing didn't help at all.
No.
So
All right,
boys.
boys. Well, that wraps up another.
Four Bears Pod, baby.
Just wanna-
Remember to use code 4BearsSports at checkout at shankitgolf.com. They've got hats, they've got towels, they've got polos, whatever you need, Shank It Golf has got it, except for a better golf game. They can't provide that one. I know firsthand, can't provide that. Thank you
78
so
and
much
9,
for watching.
78 and 9.
It's not good. It's not good.
78 and 9 holes, Nick.
I don't think I've ever seen that bad of a round in my life.
I was,
I'm sh-
I could
I
sit
don't think
there
I've ever seen
and
a
blame
14
it.
on a hole.
I could sit there and point fingers at what it could have been, move in, all that. But the number one is just
Man
a
in the
bad
mirror.
golf game in general. Yes, yes. But anyway, thank you for watching. Signing off with Cousin Brant, part-time Primmy, and we finally found the Headless Horseman's head. It's right up there. It's Mr. Feezy. And for me, Primate, signing off.